So today, we shall study the representation of DC machine. The representation of DC machine. In previous video, we have studied the construction of DC generator. So we had studied the construction of DC generator. So you can observe is that there how many poles are there here? There are 4 poles in the diagram. So yesterday in previous video, whatever we have studied, so those were 2-pole DC generator. So now it is 4-pole DC generator. So only difference is that number of poles are different. If poles are different, speed of the machine will be increased. That is the advantages. In the exam, if they ask about the 4-pole DC generator construction, so this part you have to draw, and explanation remains same. So again we have the yoke part, armature winding is present, commutator, brush, field winding. This field winding has to connect it to DC excitation. So that part you have to draw here. Then you have to add the another 2 poles. So that is our explanation part remains same. Only thing is that so another 2 poles are inserted extra. So that is the 4-pole DC generator construction. So from this diagram, what we observe is that so what are the main components of DC generator here? The main components are field winding of DC generator and armature winding. So armature and field winding are the main parts of the DC generator here. So those parts are representing like this. So armature, this field is representing like this. F1 and F2 is the field winding. So current flowing through that is IF, and armature is representing like a machine. So it is A is the armature, it is the field winding. It is the field winding and it is the armature. Like that we are representing the DC machine. So two main parts, field winding and armature. So both are representing like this. So F1 and F2 is the two ends of field winding, and A1 and A2 are the two ends of armature. So current flowing through the field winding is IF, and current flowing through the armature. So current flowing through the armature, it is outward in nature because we are generating the current. We are generating the current and it is supplying to the other part of the, it is supplying, we are getting that. We are getting the current from that armature. That's why current is outward in nature. Current is outward in nature. So it is a representation of DC machine. And one more thing is that in DC machine, so we are representing like this, source and resistance. Why it is like that? Because in our armature we are generating the electricity. It is providing the electricity means what? It is acting like a source. It is providing electricity means what? It is acting like a source. That's why it is named as EG. So it is generated EMF EG. And why it is RA here? RA because so whatever the winding is present here, so whatever the windings we have, all we have some resistance always in it. Some part of resistance is present in that, whatever the winding we have. So armature winding we have in armature, that armature resistance has some part of resistance to current flow. So that is representing like this. It is RA. So armature is representing like a source and resistance. It is a source and it is a drop in that. There is opposition to the current flow, that is the RA, and field winding as it is. So where EG is generated EMF, armature resistance, IF is the current through the field winding, IA is the armature current. It is a representation of DC machine. So it will be helpful for the classification of a DC machine. Remember this part. So in that, to mention to note down the formulas, to get the formulas from that classification. So this representation is helpful. Next we have the classification of DC generator. So DC generator or motor classified mainly into two types. One is the separately excited, another is the self-excited. In self-excited again, series, shunt and compound. In compound machine again, cumulative and differential. In both cases, cumulative compound and differential compound. So again there are two types. One is the long shunt cumulative, short shunt cumulative. Long shunt differential, short shunt differential. Like that we are classifying the DC machine. So it is classification mainly based on the placing of armature and field winding in the machine. So based on the placing of field winding and armature in the machine parts. So in next we can see that how field winding is placed and how does we are placing the armature winding. So based on that, so we are classifying separately excited means what? Field winding, armature winding connected separately. Self means both are on the same. Series means both armature and field both are in series. Shunt means parallel. Armature and field are in parallel. So like that. So we are classifying based on the placing of that. We are based on the placing of field winding and armature winding. So we shall study one by one, step by step here. So in case of first one, separately excited DC machine means what here? Field winding and armature windings are placed separately, and field winding will have the DC source. It is a DC excitation. So both, and armature is connected to load here. Armature is connected to load. Both are present separately. Both are not connected on the same platform. Both are separate in nature. That's why it is separately excited DC motor. So field winding have separate DC source to excitation purpose. Field winding has a separate DC source for excitation purpose. That's why it is separately excited DC motor. And it is armature nothing but what? It is having the source and resistance. Armature nothing but it is having the source and resistance. Now this armature is supplying to the load, correct? Armature is supplying to the load here. So based on that, we have some formulas here. So those things are, so we can observe is that whatever current flowing through the armature, same current flowing through the IL, right? Same current flowing through the load, because both are in series. So whatever current flowing through the armature, same current flow through the load. That's why IA is equal to IL. Then what about voltage across load here? Voltage across load, what happens here is that V is equal to how much? V is equal to how much we are getting? Whatever voltage generating at the armature, same voltage we are getting. But in between what happens here? There is a resistance. So whatever energy is generating minus drop of that resistance will give the V. So if you apply KVL here, we'll come to know. So terminal voltage across load is nothing but EMF generated minus drop in that armature. So that gives the total voltage. So generated minus drop will give the terminal voltage across the load part. Power delivered to the load. How much power is delivered to the load here? So we have many formulas for that. But when you have voltage and current, what is the formula? V into I. So power delivered to the load is V into IL, because IL is the load current. Voltage and current. V into IL gives the power delivered to the load. Next we have power developed in the armature. How much power is developing in this one armature? That is Eg into Ia. So Eg into voltage and current again give the power. So voltage is Eg and current is Ia. Eg into Ia. So power developed is Eg into Ia. Power delivered to the load is V into IL. So voltage across load is how much power generated minus drop in this resistance. We give the total terminal voltage, and current flowing same. Armature current and lower current both are same. Ia is equal to IL. So this is the separately excited DC motor. Next we have self-excited DC generator. So in that first one we have series connected. Series connected means what? Armature and field both are connected in series. Armature, field and load, all three are connected in series. All three are connected in series. So whatever current flowing through the armature IA, same current flow through the field and same current flow through the load. So resistance of this field is, we are writing it as a RSC, series connected field winding resistance. It is. What is RSC here? It is the resistance of field winding which is connected in series. It is called RSE. RSE. So now all connected in series, right? Same current flowing through the all three. So IA is equal to ISC is equal to IL. Correct? Same current flowing through the all three. So just think about that. Then what is the voltage across this terminal load? What is the voltage at this terminal? V is equal to how much? If you apply KVL here, if you apply KVL to this part, so EG is the power generation minus drop in this armature minus drop in the field. So whatever generated minus drop in armature minus drop in field will give the voltage across this terminal, EG minus IA into RA minus IA into RAC. So we can take IA common here, we'll get the RA plus RAC. So this is the voltage across this terminal. These formulas are useful while solving the problem. So please remember that. Try to understand here. Then power developed and power delivered remains same as that of previous one. So they will not change here. So power developed is equal to EG into IA. Power delivered is equal to V into I. They remain same. There is no change in that. Next, shunt connected or parallel connected DC generator. What is the meaning is that armature and field are connected in parallel. Armature, field and load, all three are connected in parallel. So observe that what are the current flow in that. So current flow in armature is IA. Current flowing in this field, shunt connected field. So that is RSH means what it is? It is the resistance of field winding which is connected in series. Resistance of field winding which is connected in series. That is the RSH. Current flowing through that is ISH, and current flowing through the load is IL. So what you can say is that, so whatever current is flowing here, IA, this dividing into two. One is IL and ISH. So it is the generator and these two are recipients. These two are recipients. So IA is generated is given to the, it is entering and these two are leaving. If you apply KCL there, you will get the equation. IA is equal to ISH plus IL. ISH plus IL. So one more important thing you observe is that voltage across these three remains same. So whatever voltage is present across the load, same voltage across present across the this shunt connected field also. So the voltage terminal across this load and RSH remain same, or field remain same. Both are connected in parallel. That's why, so ISH is equal to what? ISH is equal to V by RSH, because voltage across load and this parallel field remain same. So current through this current through this parallel winding is ISH is equal to V by RSH. So here voltage across this terminal is nothing but what? So if we are taking armature part here, we are taking armature part. So EG minus I into RA. RA is hidden, it is hidden inside the armature. We have to consider that because it is hidden resistance in the armature. EG minus I into RA. So why we are not taking this one? Because same voltage across these two remains same. So we are considering only this part. So voltage across this terminal is equal to EG minus I into RA. So again, power developed in armature remains same and power developed to load remains same. This V into IL. So only thing is that current direction and voltage at that terminal we have to think. Next here is that compound generator. In this compound generator, mainly, so there are two types, right? Cumulative compound generator and differential compound generator. You can see here on that field pole we are placing the field winding. Think that there is a field pole here. On that, field windings are placed here. Field windings are placed, and some parts are connected in, some part connected like this, and some part is connected like this. So we are naming it as series field winding and shunt field winding. Just we are dividing field winding into two parts. One is series connected, another is shunt connected. So by connecting like this, so whenever DC excitation is given, whenever current flow through that and flux will be generated. The flux generated by these two, if they are additive in nature, that is called as cumulative. that is called as cumulative. So total flux will be added in nature, adding in nature. Similarly, if you think about the differential here, so whenever current flow through the series winding, flux will be generated. Whenever current flow through the shunt field winding, flux will be generated. If these two fluxes are differential in nature, subtractive in nature, that is called as differential compound DC generator. Based on the flux, if they are additive in nature, it is cumulative. If it is subtractive or differential in nature, that is called as differential based on the flux. So we are dividing into, we are classifying like this. We are classifying like this. So flux will be, and in both cases we have like this, right? Long shunt and short shunt. We have short shunt. So here, what happens here is that part of this field winding is connected in parallel with the armature, and part of this field winding is connected in series. So part will connected in series and part of field winding connected in parallel. That's why we are giving series field winding and parallel field winding or shunt field winding. We are dividing that. Some part is connected in parallel to the armature and some part connected in series to the armature. So what happens here is that you can observe the current flow here. If it is connected in parallel, right, it is having the resistance of how much? RSH. So current flowing through that is ISH. If connected in series to the armature, so resistance across that is RSC. Current flowing through will be ISC. But one more thing is that armature and these two are in series. The same current flow through that. Same current flow through that. So we can say IA is equal to ISC. From this equation, you can say IA is equal to ISC we are taking. Next, we have the IL is current flowing through the load and current flowing through the load. If you apply KCL at this point, we'll get the IA is equal to ISH plus IL. IA is equal to IHS plus IL. This is about the current flow. It's about the current flowing here. Then what is the voltage across the terminal here? So planning apply KVL, voltage across this terminal. So voltage across this load is equal to voltage across the shunt part. So voltage across terminal is equal to voltage across the shunt part. You apply KVL only for this inner loop. KVL for this inner loop. You apply KVL across this inner loop. Voltage across this load is equal to how much? It is Ig minus hidden resistance is present, armature resistance, Eg minus Ia into Ra minus Ia into Rsc. Eg minus drop of armature resistance, drop of the series resistance. So it is equal to what? So same voltage across this load is equal to ISH. RSH. V is equal to ISH minus into RSH is equal to Eg minus IARA minus IRSC. So if you take IA common, we'll get the total equation. So power delivered is equal to Eg into IA. Power developed is Eg into IA. Power delivered is equal to V into IL. So like this, we can say this is a long shunt. Next, the short shunt DC generator. What is meaning is that, so part of winding is connected in series with a load and part of winding connected in parallel with the armature. So like this, based on this connection, we are calling like this. So you can observe the current flow here. You can observe the current flow which is in series with the load, which is in parallel with the armature. So based on that, so we have to write the equations here. IA is equal to ISH plus IL. So V is equal to how much? It is, if you apply the KVL for this part, it is the Eg minus I into Ra minus ISC into RSC. So it is the voltage terminal across the load here. So power developed in armature is Eg into IA. Power delivered to the load is V into IL and V into IL. So these are the classification of DC generator. So main thing is that current flow, and based on that we have to apply the KVL. We'll get the equations. So these equations are important while solving the problem. So you practice even at the end. And this is important question, classification of DC generator. It is important question for your exam point of view. You practice this thing and try to write the equation. So try to write the equations. So one is a series connected, shunt connected, compound, main three. So in that again we have the different parts here. So in exam they will specify which they have to write. Based on that you write. So you practice the diagram and equations you practice. So next we have types of winding. So according to the way of connection of armature winding, we can classify into two types. One is the lap winding, another is the wave winding. So in armature, we are connecting in armature. So armature, we have the conductors, right? We have the winding. In armature, we have the conductors or windings we have. So we have connecting those windings in a two ways. One is the lap winding, another is the wave winding. What is the mean of lap winding and wave winding? Simple. Simply in simple one or two sentences we shall study that. Because actually the concept is deep, no need to go for that. Simply in simple way we can study that. Simple definitions we can study. So what is the meaning of lap winding is that connection is overlapping in nature. You can observe is that if you start from one end, and then it is going to the next slot and coming back to same slot. So conductor starts from one slot and coming back to same slot, and it will progress and it will proceed to next slot. In that slot again it overlap and proceed to next slot. Same, so like this. So winding connection is overlapping in nature. One slot to another slot, it is overlapping nature. By overlapping it will proceed for next slot. So like this we have the connection in case of lap winding. And conductors are, and these total conductors are divided into number of parallel paths here. So how many conductors are there? So those are placed in a parallel paths in that slots. In the slots are there, in that total conductors are placed here. So there is no any restriction here. There is no any restriction. In each slot we should have this much parallel paths. There is no any restriction. Even based on the conductors, based on the availability of conductors, we can place that parallel paths in that slots, we can say. So we can say, so many number of conductors we can place in that slots. So we can say current carrying capacity of this kind of generator is high. So in if you connected in lap winding, current carrying capacity of this kind of winding is high. So it is the advantage of this lap winding. So parallel part depending on what? Parallel part depending on number of poles here. Number of poles, that is the lap winding here. So from diagram we can observe is that there is a overlap. Simple, we can say there is a overlapping of winding and proceeds. It will overlap in one slot and proceed, overlap in one slot and proceed. So like that continuously there is overlapping and continuation of winding takes place here. So what happens here is that number of conductors are placed in a slots in a parallel paths. So that is not restricted here. So based on the number of conductors we can place that in a parallel path. So it is having the high current carrying capacity. So next we have wave winding. So we can observe is that winding always travels ahead. There is no overlapping here. There is no overlapping. Only thing is that winding always travels ahead. Continuously it will move on. It will not come back. Continuously it will move on from one slot to another slot, next slot to another slot. So like that. So there is a progressive wave. So we can say it is in progressive way, we can say. That's why it is called as wave winding. Like a wave, it will, so wave will not come back, right? So it will progress always like that. That's why it is called as wave winding. Winding always travels in progressive manner. So here, but in what happens here is that, so total number of conductors are divided into parallel paths. In this parallel paths are only two. in one slot we have to place only two conductors, two parallel paths we have to place. That is the restriction is present in case of wave winding restriction. So number of parallel paths are two. So like that, parallel paths are less means what? Conductors are less. Conductor less means what? Current carrying capacity of this kind of winding is less. That is the disadvantage of this kind of winding. So what is wave winding here is that winding always travels ahead. So it travels like a progressive wave, and number of conductors are dividing into parallel paths. So this type parallel paths are always two. So parallel paths in this wave winding is always two. So that is the, and number of conductors are less. Two means less in nature. Parallel paths are less, conductors are less. So it has the uh, what I can say, current carrying capacity of this winding is less. So difference you can say. So you can, in diagram you can observe is that it is the lap winding, it is the wave winding. So difference you can study now. Lap winding is having, it is operate high current, is having the high current and low voltage. So wave winding is having the low current because of less parallel paths. In lap winding we have high parallel paths, high current. In case of wave winding, less parallel paths, low current. In lap winding, if connection is in started from one conductor in one slot, then connection overlap each other as winding proceeds till starting point is reached again. So in lap winding, there is overlapping takes place. In case of wave winding, what happens here is that there is no any overlapping. So it travels like a progressive wave. Travels like a progressive wave. Next part is in lap winding, number of parallel paths are fixed. Number of parallel paths are based on number of poles. Based on number of poles. So normally we have the 4 pole. That's why we are naming it as 4. So in lap winding, number of parallel paths are number of poles. A is equal to P. So is equal to 4. In wave winding, it is restricted to 2. In lap winding, it is preferable for high current, low voltage capacity generator. Yes. In wave winding, it is low current capacity generator. It is preferred for low current capacity generator. And the last one, lap windings are also used for applications required low voltage at high currents. And wave windings are used for applications require higher voltages at lower currents. So these are the differences of lap winding and wave winding. So it is one of the important question. Difference between lap winding and wave winding. So what are things we have studied? We have studied the presentation of DC machine. Next, before to that, construction of 4-pole machine. After that, presentation of DC machine. After that, classification of DC machine. And we have studied the types of poles and difference of poles we have studied. So this is